of a girl for certain, and my body on point, they be like, who's just searching?
What's up guys, so in today's video I'm going to do a quick highlight and contour tutorial. So I'm just going to show you guys quickly the basics and just little tips and tricks that I have. So right now my foundation is on my skin. I think everyone knows the basics of foundation is to even out your skin tone and give you a nice base. Today I used the NYX Born to Glow foundation, and my shade is in Cocoa. So that's what I use on my face. So for concealer today, I think I'm going to go over to the drugstore. Oh, actually, I meant to put on my lashes before this. I actually forgot. Okay, so now it's time to highlight. So for me, highlighting is lifting and accentuating certain areas of your face. So usually where people like to highlight is under their eyes, middle of their nose, the bridge of their nose, the forehead, the chin. Sometimes some people like to accentuate their collarbones, their cheekbones by highlighting under here. It's all up to personal preference. I personally would always advise you guys to highlight the areas which you want to bring out of your face, things that you want to stand out. Don't highlight anything that you want to hide. For example, me, I have quite a big forehead. I wouldn't highlight my forehead because I don't want that to be popping out. I don't want my highlighting like bold. Like, no sis, no. I kind of want it to just blend into my face. Also, I don't like highlighting my chin because I feel like my chin is a little bit weighty. Like, she's a bit juicy. I don't like that. So I don't highlight my chin either. So what I like to highlight is under my eyes and my nose bridge. That's what I want to be like the main parts of my face that are kind of lifted. So I like to use a concealer that's probably 2 to 3 shades lighter than me, depending on what kind of look you go for, depending on what you're comfortable with, like how bright you want your under eye, and the shade literally depends on you and your preference. I go with the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer in 340. Some people do like the triangle like this. Just draw it for you guys. A lot of people do that little triangle. Some people just do like a little bit or do like a few dots. I like to kind of manipulate my face structure with my contour, so I like to drag my highlighter quite low, probably around here, and I do drag it out quite a bit just because I want to be able to completely frame my contour and frame my face. So I'm just gonna contour as I go. So I usually go probably, I don't like to go past my nose, so I try to avoid it, but I'm a drama queen, so sometimes my hand gets a little bit out of the way. So I don't do any precise shapes. I kind of just feather it out and do the same to this side. Give it a feather look. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it, a feather. And I bring it all the way out and make sure I get underneath my eyes so there's enough coverage there. And as you can see, I'm going for a full coverage look. That's what I prefer. I also go onto the sides of my nose to help with my nose contour, just like that. And what this does is it helps when it comes to contouring my nose. It helps snatch it and kind of give it a shape already. So I'm just gonna feather that out. I like to let my concealer sit under my eye for at least 30 seconds to a minute, just so that the concealer sticks to my skin, sticks to my foundation, and I get the highest coverage that I can get. Especially when you're blending it out with like a beauty sponge and it's damp, it can pick up a lot of the product and kind of absorb it. So you kind of want it to stick to your skin before you start blending it out. I feel like it's pretty decent now, so I always start on the edges and just blend them into my skin. And the key to like a flawless highlight contour is blending. Like, your blending needs to be on point. So I'm just gonna go on the edges first, because if your edges aren't blended well, then everything's just gonna look crazy. You want your edges to be nice and blended. So I'm just gonna blend all the feather edges, and that's why I make the edges like feathered, because it makes it easier to blend out rather than doing like quite harsh thick line. Now I'm gonna go under my eyes and I'm gonna tap really lightly. I'm not doing any hard motions. I'm just tapping on top because I want the coverage to stay as it is. I just want to blend it in. Now look up and blend underneath my eyes here. So as you guys can see, I look very pale, I look kind of ghostly, and my face looks really flat. The dimension and like the little 3D parts of my face look flat. I basically look like a 2D or 1D. This looks like paper. Naturally, my cheekbones, my contour is quite low and I don't like how it looks. so I lift it with makeup. Usually people will tell you to do like the little fish face to see where you contour. This is where my contour is supposed to be. That's where like the hollows of my cheek is. I don't like that. I feel like it's too low, and I feel like if I put my contour there, it just, I don't like how it looks. When you're contouring, you're going to use a concealer or a foundation, whatever, 2 to 3 shades darker. I would say that's personally what I go for. This is one of the darkest shades that Revolution have, and it works good for me. I like it. It's the Revolution Conceal Define Concealer in C18. I'm going to put it here instead. And the same to this side. Try to keep it quite symmetrical, but you know, can't always do that. I always bring my contour up past my concealer, so on the sides here. Because I brought my concealer out, you never want that line of demarcation where it's like your concealer goes all the way here, and then when you turn your face, it's like dark, light, dark. You want it to be consistent, so that's why I bring the concealer around here. It's like a half a C, half a moon shape, just to make sure from here down here everything's like blended together. It's one shade, and the same to this side. Because when you don't do this, it starts to look like, girl, you didn't blend your makeup, when you probably did, but you just didn't, you know, catch the little thing. You can contour your forehead if you have a big forehead and you want to contour it. I mean, I don't really contour my forehead much. If anything, I throw a bit of bronzer up there. I'm going to blend that out with the same sponge I use. I usually squeeze my beauty blender like this and start blending. I feel like that gives it more of a concentration and it's easier. I don't really mind. Usually I just go for the cleaner side, but it really doesn't matter because everything's going to blend together anyway. So just squeeze, and I literally just pat down. And this concealer does dry quite quick, but because my sponge is damp, it's not too bad. I'm just gonna blend. And I always like to kind of just bring it around my mouth as well. So now I'm going to go on to setting our under eye. Some people prefer translucent powders. I've never used it because I just feel like that's asking for flashback, and I feel like you have to work really hard to avoid flashback with them powders, and I'm a chocolate girl, so I just need a little bit of colour on my powder. So my powder of choice is the Huda Beauty powder in Kunafa. It's kind of like a yellow based powder, but it's more like the honey. So it's up to you what kind of setting powder you want to use. Translucent, yellow based, just depends on your skin tone and also your skin type, because some people have oily skin, dry skin. Just gonna have to find a powder for you. I have a whole video on my favorite setting powders. I can link it in the description. I like to use a dense brush, the same brush I used for my foundation today, and I put some powder on here and I start pressing in. I don't like to bake under my eyes because I'm gonna say I have more normal to dry skin, so I just feel like baking. This is asking for my pores to show up and show out, and I don't need that. So I just use the powder and start pressing that in. And I'm also going around the side of my nose, not too focused, but making sure I hit that area so it's set. Also like to use this powder on my forehead, get rid of any oils because I usually get oils up there. Then what I like to do to like snatch my nose even more is I use my Ben Nye Revolution banana powder. It reminds me of the Ben Nye though because it's so light. I like to use the Revolution banana powder and use a dry beauty blender. I used this on my face earlier, so don't come for me, but usually use a clean dry beauty blender, and I'm going to tap it into this powder and I'm going to basically define my nose. So I'm gonna just tap it. You definitely have to press it in well because otherwise you'll get some serious flashbacks. So while that's going on, I'm gonna bronze. I feel like doing a liquid contour, blending it out like this, and doing a bronzer gives you a much more soft look rather than like a really structured, you guys know what I mean when I say Instagram makeup vibe. Like this gives you more of a soft look. I'm gonna go into a powder brush and just start bronzing, and I just like to kind of dash it on. I don't like to be too precise. I'm gonna use this one because I need a clean brush. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of throw it on. I like to go up into my forehead a little bit, go on the sides here, kind of follow where we did the contour anyway, but just be a little bit more free with it. I don't know what I was doing without bronzer, honestly, but you guys can see I have more warmth to my face. So now I'm gonna wipe away this powder because we don't need it. Use the same foundation brush, pat, move it to the side. Okay, so that's my nose today. I feel like I could have done better, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go in a little bit more of the bronzer. I like to keep it on the side of my nose as well, just a little bit. Like it just gives me more warmth. Yeah, that's how my skin looks once I've done highlight and contouring. Sometimes I go underneath my jaw with some powder. I don't feel the need to do that today because I feel like I was kind of controlled with my bronzer, but sometimes I go ham and I just need to clean it up. But for today, I'm good. So usually at this point, I go ahead and put on highlighter, finish up my eyes and my lips. So I'm quickly going to do that and come back. So yeah, that's it for today's highlight contour routine. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.